Sol. Here we are. We're going to try to bring a little bit of fun into astrology today because, what else can you do with astrology but have a bit of fun with it?
Well, I've been thinking a lot lately, and I've been thinking the
Holy shit, no!
Year. Well, it's dangerous when I started thinking. Told people she started thinking. But
oh my God, all your wrinkles and everything. Oh. Don't lose your teeth.
I'll try not to. My Saturn aspects are looking quite okay, so I won't lose any teeth anytime soon. But I was thinking the first half of 2020 proved to be quite destructive. I mean, there's a lot of focus on this negative energies, and I understand that. It's not that it's not understandable. We need to deal with things if they're not working. But on the other hand, I thought it matters what you put out there in the world. And it matters, like this is you being conscious of your imprint on others or your effect on others is part of the Great Awakening, that we're in the middle of. And therefore I decided with this last full moon, actually, I had an epiphany. And I decided I will do my best to turn that in my little way, to turn that around and be very conscious of what I put out there online so that it will be building up strength again so that people can feel like, okay, you know what, this impending doom, we have power to create. And if we just go with the gravity, it is fairly sure that you will end up in some sort of destructive energy because there's so much destruction in the inner levels of humanity. But if you consciously choose to create, you become aware of what you put out into the world. So therefore, I thought this meme thing was it's fun. You and me, we share that type of humor. We like to laugh. So
I've had this thing too, I've got my own personal troll. And who is just like, obviously does not know what she is talking about. And she's been attacking me. But I'm looking at this thing kind of like, I think maybe when I was a young woman, it might have upset me. But now that I've got a bit of experience and education, it becomes this thing that I just look at like, wow, maturity may not be a bad thing.
No, exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm kind of playing with it, It's kind of like the roles have reversed. Like I'm no longer a teacher who doesn't feel respected. I feel I've turned it over. It's been a great experience for me, and I got loads of clients from it. And so it's a very odd thing.
Win-win.
What's that?
It's a win-win situation. She gets all her crap out and you get, you're just working the energy and just like having fun with it, and you learn to transcend.
Yeah, it's been joyful. I would say joyful is the word. Yeah, you're right. When
yeah, but like this, it's I think it's important. This there's a lot of teasing and mocking and dehumanizing going on today online. And we have our preferences, who we like and who we don't like, but I don't think it's good enough reason to actually go down on that level and mock somebody. But then again, being unmockable is quite a feat as well, once you get to the point where you're not offended. And I think I grew up with this British humor, the Monty Python and everything that was completely like, wow, did they actually make a joke of that? Like they were so insulting to so many people. And becoming a little bit, without desensitizing entirely, but becoming a little bit aware of, being able to laugh at yourself as well. I think memes and astrology is a good helper for that, because every time you read something about your sign, it's like, oh, that's slightly offensive. I'm not like that. It was just earlier this morning, I showed it to a friend of mine. It's like, evidently, Aquariuses are completely emotional and available. That's not true for me, is it? You know,
Well,
like
I've always said the same thing about me being a Cancer. I do not believe that I fit into the stereotype of a Cancer, and
I
I always get a bit bent on the
agree.
shape,
Too.
you know,
Huh?
because I don't think I'm home loving and shy. But look where I am. Here I am in my a prisoner in my home. You know,
Yeah.
I'm kind of forced into my star sign. But what I love about memes is, you know, we can. It's a double joke.
Hmm?
You make a stereotype, you put a few funny quotes around it, and it's funny. It's funny in two ways, because you're an astrologer and you get the in joke, and then as an outsider you can also have a laugh too. That's what I love. I think memes are, in the right hands, are really, really, really funny. And you and I have had this meme thing going on for years, and
Yeah.
so
It's been
I
picking up
I
lately.
I've been memeing it all day, and I can't wait to show you my Venus and Cancer memes. But we've been doing Mars in Aries, which I
Yeah.
think is hysterical. So are we ready to do this?
Oh yeah, let's plunge in.
Okay. So let's get in here and let's do our micro. Here we go. Just
Oh,
give me a second to fix it up. This is
yeah, this
yours.
Martin Aries, huh?
This
This is
is
my
your meme for Mars and Aries. So just
yeah, I
talk us
thought
through how you came about getting this image in your mind.
well, for Mars in Aries, if we look at the solar houses, it's in the first house, right? So it has to do with willpower and the use to use the willpower. But yeah, it's very reactive. You know what we've seen up until now. I'm hoping it might change when it goes retrograde, and it will go retrograde, squaring Mars. So I'm hoping that people will, you know, be a little more cool-headed by that time. But this is definitely, you know, like somebody who is very upset with the world. And when I'm saying trying to fix the internet, it's not trying to fix the Wi-Fi, it's trying to fix all the people inside the internet and just trying to change their minds. And you know, a happy trigger, the being a little bit easily triggered, you know, it's like Aries and Mars
Everybody's
in
on
Aries.
a trigger point, you know.
Yeah,
Everyone.
it's very trigger happy.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we draw conclusions very quickly. Everything is moving extremely quickly. So we might get some hangovers due to this. Like people are waking up the day after and thinking, oh my God, did I just do something that wasn't good? And this is definitely probably, you know, a very reactive person who just, you know, had some issues with
Impulsively
their computer and
took a
couldn't take
gun
it anymore. It's like
and
I had
shot
to kill
things.
this thing, you know, like that's really acting out violently. So I thought, you know, it just shows how reactive Mars in Aries can be.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, so I'm afraid my intellect was in a deeper gutter than yours, and this was mine.
Oh yeah. I like that one. Well, there's a certain libido in this one. It's not unappreciated.
Because Mars is a fire sign. He's using his smoke, and it's a dick pic. And you know, Mars is to do with that sexual energy that we all have to deal with. And well,
I
that's
also
where.
saw something else in this one, just to interrupt a little bit. I saw like the middle finger.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, how do you deal with situations that you know that you are powerless to control? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
you know, you fuck it up, right?
Yeah, but it's a good one. You know, I think that dick pic, the cosmic dick pic, is just an amazing reminder that also this Mars in Aries is quite a potent power of sexuality. You know, if used well, I mean, I'm sure there could be some beautiful lovemaking. Also, despite the Corona COVID situation out there for a lot of people, it's definitely yeah, it's libido.
You can't even. Well, we are all told to lock down and to not do that stuff anymore. So there's unrepressed stuff
Yeah, well,
that is coming up that has to be dealt with, and you know. maybe a loss of control or loss of power that's coming in with this. And we got it to deal with for a long time. We got, this is a long time that Mars is going to be in Aries. We got another 3 or 4 months of it to go. Is that right? And all
January
this other craziness going on.
Yeah, I think it's even further. It's not even retrograde yet. So it's January 2021. It will go retrograde between 28 degrees Aries back till 15 degrees Aries. So especially for people who have, who have planets in those in that, late part of Aries are particularly affected. And it will also cross the warrior goddess Aries, and then square Pluto and Mars and Jupiter, and no, Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter. So it's wildly potent, in so many ways. But this is a nice reminder. We can actually wield the power a little bit more constructively if we like. Maybe people really seriously need to get laid. Like,
Well, being more choosy about who we sleep with. I mean, now we got to be extra super duper careful. Now, I'm a bit older than you, but I grew up with the Pluto and Scorpio generation, and I remember being afraid of mosquito bites because we thought that we were going to get the AIDS virus.
Oh, really? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I remember being terrified of it, and it all kept us under control, and all kept us.
Yeah.
Now
there's even more to be afraid of, huh? So for me, it's of course. I mean, there are some consequences. I saw this meme today. I mean, there was this stupid meme. She gave me she gave me gonorrhea. I gave her COVID. Yay! Like it's like this stupid meme about some foolish guy who'd been infected by gonorrhea by a girl, but then his revenge was to give her COVID back. It's like, it wasn't really funny, but it sort of describes a little bit, the dangers of being too close and how much courage it might take for some people. Now, I live in Norway. We've had a pretty fairly quiet corona hysteria. It hasn't been much, like a little bit now. People are coming from vacation and stuff, but we've lived practically without having to think about it for quite a while. And it's been...
Yeah, and I live in London, and I've know a few people who've had the virus, but how about that explosion in Beirut?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's a Mars and
bloody
Aries thing.
hell! They were showing on a map what would happen if it had happened in London. How many of us would be affected by it, and we can say, oh, it's over there, or that is. It shouldn't have happened, or whatever. It made me cry actually, seeing this huge explosion going on and just realizing how many lives were impacted by this.
To be quite honest, this was so bizarre because I have a few friends who have have family connections to Beirut and Lebanon, and I've been following what they've been posting online about what has happened post-COVID for Lebanon. And they've been going through hyperinflation, and it's been pretty intense over there, so for me, when this explosion came, it was so strange. I wasn't surprised at all, because I'm like, I've been a little like thinking, why don't we hear much about Lebanon in the news these days? They are going through a shitty situation. And the narrative and the focus in most media today is very America-centric. It's just all revolving around big politics and whatever goes on there. It's like the entertainment value of the mask debate seems to be higher than real politics in many ways. I might be a little judgmental saying this because maybe it's a very important debate going on. But for me, seeing this humanitarian crisis being unfolding without nobody caring much until the bomb came. That was like the...
Sorry, until what?
Until the bomb. Until the bomb. When the bombings happened, everybody was like, oh, there's a place called Lebanon, and maybe now they get the attention that they need, because it's been probably one of the most devastating effects on COVID happened exactly in Lebanon. So we'll see. It's like a big cry for help. And I'm glad that there's a little bit of focus around Beirut right now, because it's a whole people. They've been suffering immensely already up until now. They're into bartering. I mean, the butchers are out of meat. I mean, it's like it's a disaster. So so yeah, we'll see, huh?
Yeah.
We'll
Let's
see.
go on to Taurus, shall we?
Okay.
Let's see
Okay.
what's happening with um
This was yours for Taurus,
this is mine. Mars and Aries learns not to bother Taurus and are trying to eat. So this is a parent bird trying to feed their child. And what has happened is that the child has taken the parent's face in its beak. And, you know, we kind of make fun of Taurus because they like to cook and they like to eat and like nice things. And it's the Venus thing going on. And it's, you know, so I came across this picture very randomly. I can't even tell you what I was searching for. I think I was searching for greedy children or something, and this is the picture that came up. And so let's go and see what you came up with. You came up with a beautiful picture. I love this.
Well, I have a few Taurus friends. Actually, to be quite honest, most of my female friends are Tauruses, which I think is interesting. And because I have Mars in Taurus, and you would think that that's impossible to have like a good friendship or relationship with somebody where your Mars sign is. But we have to remember, for Mars in Aries, if we have solar houses, then Mars is in the 12th house. So
12th
that's
house.
the retreat, yeah. So it's the retreat. And the collective energy is just retreating away from it, because Taurus is basically just looking for harmony, to be quite honest. I mean, they just want to have peace and quietude in their lives so that they can be creative with their lives. It's like they're all teaching us to slow down and enjoy everything from the senses to just the breath, for instance.
To absorb, which was kind of where I was coming from too, with my illustration about absorbing food and taking the nutrients that you need to take in.
Yeah, and I also like the picture you showed, because there's something forceful about this feeding. It's like she's like gaping over something, like just wanting more, 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 more. And yeah, Mars in the 12th house could be without those boundaries. Like nothing is good enough. You're like, I need more of everything in order to satisfy that inner worry that comes from living in a world that's pretty hysterical these days. It's like it's so lit, you know. It's Mars in Aries, so it's volatile. It's like this, like a bomb would be a good example on how volatile the energy is. You can have a nice, lovely day, dum 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 dum, walking down the street, and then suddenly you meet some craphead who wants to do some political discussion with you, and your whole day is just like completely changed in anger and like it's like, because of the high intensity of this energy, it's also very volatile. So I would think that a lot of Tauruses would just really just go somewhere where they really couldn't give a fuck, you know. Actually, my Taurus's friends, they are people who have hammocks in their kitchen, and you know, they have hammocks inside their houses. So I like that. It's the hammock.
It's funny how this situation with the virus, and we're all having to retreat indoors, we're
Yeah.
actually like more expressing our suns. Because even though I deny being a
Yeah, yeah,
Cancerian,
yeah.
I feel I have been put in a situation where I've had to be more Cancerian. You know, I've had to sort my space out, and you know, I'm doing a lot more cooking than I ever did before. Although I just deny, I like to be in restaurants and stuff like that. But now we're all stuck at home.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
forced to be a Cancerian, a good Cancerian. I used to call myself the bad Cancerian, but now I'm the good Cancerian. You know, because I'm stuck at home now.
You're a bad Cancer. Well, I would think that, you know, that pure Cancer energy, or that pure Taurus energy, or Pisces energy, those are the signs that are most comfortable with quarantine in general. You know, like I'm happy. Like I've heard so many people with strong influence of Taurus, Cancer, or Pisces being quite happy that they don't have to see people, or that they don't have to relate to the world and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's, but a few of my Taurus friends have gone through this Mars in the 12th house energy with simply retreating, just doing simple things like breath work and relaxing into the hammock, connecting with larger forces, and using, and not being so eager to go out there and act in the world. So I thought that was very appropriate for this one, actually.
And maybe giving up. And
Surrender.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe
yes,
giving
surrender.
up as well. Yeah, that's the other. They're like, there's like, what's the difference between giving up and surrendering?
Very profound. Okay, let's go on to Gemini. Okay.
Gemini. That would be the 11th
Yeah.
house.
So yeah, Mars and
Yeah.
Aries, Gemini didn't even notice because they were off with their friends and they're doing their own thing and they're continuing to communicate in their own way on the internet, on through social media. And I know social media has been a lifeline to a lot of people, including me.
Yeah.
And people are communicating in their own ways without actually touching each other or putting themselves at risks.
We could speculate as well that a lot of Gemini in this time and age, now there's a thing called having your own living and work in front of a computer. A lot of people work in front of computers right now, touching the world through their computers. And that's a little bit of Aquarius Gemini to it. There's plenty of Aquarius in it, but there's also Gemini in it. You gotta love being around people and chit-chatting and whatnot. So, like, I have a lot of my work online. I'm a Gemini moon. And I didn't notice very much changes in my rhythm with this quarantine. I'm like, it's just another day. It's business like usual. There was very few changes in my routine, actually.
And I've got to say, too, I did not feel a particular, I think I went through a few bad moments when I realized as a school teacher that I was never going to be back in the classroom again. That hurt. But we're all doing it online now. We're it's okay. We've adjusted and how unique are we humans that we could make this big change. We never thought we could do it until we had to do it.
Yeah. Well, who was it who said that? Wasn't it the father of evolutionary theory, Darwin? He had a quote, and that quote stuck with me for quite a while, especially when Mars was in Pisces, actually. And it's not the strongest of species that survives, nor the most intelligent ones. It is those who are most adaptable who survives. So the fluidity of Gemini is probably quite good for this crisis time with Mars in Aries and all this rioting. And I mean, Gemini can make fun of things and have fun with it as well. There's a certain entertainment value to everything when it comes to Gemini. And it's not because they're cynical. It's just because it's educational. And to be quite frank, it's quite entertaining as well, if you're not touched by it personally, of course.
They will always find a way to communicate.
Well, look at our big Gemini, the most famous Gemini on planet, Trump.
Boris Johnson.
Twitter himself, I don't know how much he can tweet up to 200 tweets a day or something. Like, he must have world record in tweeting.
And how much shit he puts out there too,
Well, he's
it's just a lot of shit, isn't it? That he puts out, and Boris Johnson too. I find it interesting. Boris Johnson had the virus. He was in ICU for weeks, right? He was very, very ill and was going to die. And I mean, I remember the moment I discovered that he had the virus and the fear it put into me, because here is our leader of the UK, and now he is in ICU with this virus, and is he recovered? And then he became a father again, and all this stuff. I think it's and yet he still doesn't seem to get it, It's like
Well,
this.
it takes time, I guess. We anticipate that evolution will come quickly, but it's always like I was talking about that, the illusions we have, the expectations we have. We have some expectations that now everything will change. Now we will get the revolution that we hoped for back in the days of Pluto square Uranus. But it's slow moving, and it's because there's great resistance to change, because we don't have a new vision of how a new world would look like, and we know that the cost of change is also very, very high. There's always these revolutionary romantics, I call them, who's romanticizing revolution. There's plenty of them, but once they have to pay for the cost themselves with their lives and their changes, of course, it becomes a different type of experience. And then you understand that, okay, this is like watching rock grow. You have to be very patient with humanity and just have some perspective. And maybe that's what, like Mars in Aries, definitely for Gemini, since it's the 11th house, might even give a lot of perspective right now for the Gemini soul, sort of like get a step back a little bit, and maybe they go into sudden conversations and end up regretting what they said, and then get some new info and intel about their own influence on the world. Like, it's just not words no more. The words can be dangerous. You can't just go around saying shit. It was just yesterday I told somebody, listen, people actually die from this one. It's not that I don't respect your freedom to have your own opinions, but just be a little mindful what you post.
Because I know someone who has written a book saying that the virus is a hoax and it's not real.
No.
And I've said, well, you are responsible for the people that die then. Exactly. Okay, you are putting this information out there, and anybody who follows what you say because you come across as authoritative is your responsibility. You are a killer, basically, is what I tried to explain.
Yeah, in a way, like I can be very judgmental online as well. I have strong opinions about things, right? It's like, oh yes, and then I get all enthusiastic about them, and I get the urge to post. But more and more lately, I'm thinking, no, if it's not for the benefit of all, then I think I'll withhold my posting. Let's see what I can do in order to tap into a higher potential. I'm not, and by all means, I do not always succeed, but that's my goal, to become extremely creative with what we can create together as a group mind. And I think with Mars in Aries sextiling Gemini, there's a lot of this rash, reactive communication that might happen quite a bit, actually. The sextiles are always communicative in their energy, and the solar house, Aries is the 11th solar house from Gemini. So there's a lot of friendship and a lot of group communications and group dynamics, even backstabbings and stuff like that, talking shit behind other people's backs, and stuff like that can wake up people and make them realize that, we're definitely going to have a wake-up call with Mars squaring Saturn and squaring Pluto, and like that might pertain to our way of communicating with the world.
And you know what? The people I appreciate the most are my neighbors. Because here in London, we live on top of each other, in our flats. But my neighbors have been the most loveliness. Thank God for my neighbors.
Yeah.
They're the people that I speak to. I sit out on my balcony for my cup of tea and stuff like that, and they're playing with their dog, or they're making breakfast, and they're having conversations, and we're talking over each other's gardens, where we never really did that before.
Exactly.
So even though we have this high tech stuff which is going on, I appreciate those interactions I have with the people that live near me. Because before we went about our lives and we never really interacted that much, but now I think we're looking out for each other.
You know, there was this study that my yoga teacher shared with us the other day in the yoga group, and she said they've been studying what happiness is. You know, there's certain neurological components to what makes us feel happy, like a lot of healthy serotonin in your brain, for instance. And it's, according to these studies, it was the small things, the little small talks, the little meetings with people that actually made the greatest effect. So just chatting with the guys at the counter or having that little hello, goodbye thing with your neighbor is actually making up the fabric of the everyday life and creating almost like a lovely little
family. We're creating a
yeah,
family.
family. Yeah. So the importance of being social.
So let's see what you did with
Yeah.
Mars and Gemini.
I
There we
went
go.
completely 11th house.
I think you've got a kind of a Taurus thing going on here too, with the filling the belly and or stimulating the taste going on. But yeah, how much fun are we having watching all the crap going on online?
Well,
Sort of.
yeah, it is like popcorn time. A lot of the things that happen is like totally popcorn. And when somebody uses this concept, where's the popcorn? Bring out the popcorn. It's because something is so horrendously, completely stupid, and that, you know, you need, this is like entertainment. Suddenly it becomes dare I say, pathetic, and then you just start to see everything. You lose, it loses, suddenly it's not serious anymore. It just becomes a shit show. And that's not to be taken seriously. It's just a lot of people being extremely reactive with each other.
Because I have nothing else to do, because
Yeah, well,
Netflix.
in a way, yeah.
How much can you watch Netflix? You know,
Yeah.
how much can you take it on?
Yeah, but it's the underlying Jupiter-Pluto thing that goes on. And it's always like, now the South Node is also in Sagittarius. So we have opinions, right? And those opinions, they stand in the way for us to understand the North Node in Gemini, which is the relativity of all. So with Mars going on in the 11th house, solar house for Gemini, I thought, you know, yeah, they take a little bit of an observer role here instead of participating in the war themselves, like having opinions. They rather sit back and enjoy the popcorn while people fight it out.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of people's personal shit put out into the public eye to devour and to well, just to watch and to be entertained by. Yeah, of course.
Well, there's a lot of appeal to emotion, and there's a lot of propaganda going on everywhere in every direction. So it's understandable.
And let's look at how emotion plays into this.
Well, is that the workplace? Because that would be the 10th house for a Cancer.
It could be that it could be. She looks like she's been, trying to improve her, or attempted to improve her social image. Obviously a nice dress, a beautiful girl, high heels, got everything done just right, but she's fucking pissed. And so when Mars is in Aries and Cancer tries to relate, it's hard because Mars will square Saturn. And Mars will square the Sun in Cancer. So it's a rough ride for the cardinal signs.
Absolutely, for the cardinals,
and the 10th house, right? You're right, absolutely correct. But let's see what you said.
Yeah, well, what did I say? I was a little worried about that one.
But it's true. The word is the Karens. I love this word. I mean, I don't love it in that I think it's accurate, but you hear about so many women losing their shit. Women of a certain age losing their crap, privileged women. And even the other night, I tell you, I was in the shop. I was buying some milk, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. And this girl, well, she's right in my grill. I'm like, hold on, 6 feet away. What are you doing? You don't even. I had my mask on. She didn't have her mask on. But I was just like, okay, Alex, really? calm down, right?
You were ready to lose your
don't
shit,
be
huh?
a Karen. That was a phrase that went in my mind. Don't be a Karen. Just get your milk and walk on. But she was right in my, she was right up my arse, and I'm doing the right thing. I'm wearing my mask. I'm staying at home and do all the things I should do. And here's this punk, breathing in my face. So I can identify with that face, actually. Just fuck off out of my face. Yeah, I get that.
Well, I think it's hard to keep things internalized for cancers these days. It has to be expressed in one way or another. And, the story goes, every sun sign has their own inner core needs. Like, what does Cancer need? They need security and safety. And what is that in practical terms? Well, it's that people behave nicely and harmoniously around you, and of course not pressure you too much, because if there's one thing Cancer hates, it's pressure. So once that happens, once the pressure is on, which would be a probable case with Mars going through the 10th house, the pressure's on, there's something pushing me, something's pressuring me, I'm forced to do something, and since the core need is being safe and feeling secure, it might not be expressed as directly, because it's anger. It's not it's a taboo feeling. I mean, we're not supposed to be angry, right? But when you keep it in, it becomes like a Coca-Cola can that you shake and stir fiercely, and then when you open it, it just, just the lid is off, and the inner tension.
It's the square aspect. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pushing a reaction.
Yeah, it's a rough time for the cardinal signs. I mean, Chiron is in Aries. There's Lilith is in Aries. Aries is in Aries, and then Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter in Capricorn, and then now this. Well, we've done with the Cancer moon, but I don't know how you felt July with the eclipses and everything, but it was pretty intense. It was a pretty intense month.
I'm not a big fan of the eclipses. I don't really think.
You're not a fan. I don't.
I don't quite.
Oh yeah, we don't get it.
Eclipses the way that you do, but I will say that it was my birthday. It's July 20th, and I felt so loved up for my birthday. Because I was not looking forward to being on my own for my birthday, and I felt this great outpouring of support and love, and from social media, and the distancing kind of way. And I had a great birthday. I mean, all day long, I was just on, oh, thank you for wishing me happy birthday, wishing me a great year. I felt that, and that.
You're such a Leo moon.
I know. Let's see what we're going to do for Leo. So,
yeah, well, that's you. Yeah.
So the Mars in Aries is trying to Leo sun. And I wanted to get a picture of someone who's glamorous, who wanted to be glamorous, but also had to face up to maybe being a bit older. And this is not a good pick, is it? Be surprised. She is somebody who is having to deal with being a bit older, and obviously she's a beautiful woman. She's got wonderful hair, but yeah, she's coming to the time of her life where she is.
She's looking for life again, huh?
She doesn't have that power she had when she was younger. If we could backtrack this 20 years, you would have a gorgeous woman, but here she is having to live life in a
reasonable invisible state.
Yeah, and so I like this picture. I think she's very attractive, but yet I can see that in her expression that it's a Leo woman who is having to come to terms with not being the center stage anymore. And I see it in people's faces, and I hear comments on the internet. They call me a boomer. I'm not a fucking boomer.
What are you? A generation what?
Am I Generation X? I'm not a boomer.
No, boomers are
Jupiter Uranus generation. So I'm not a bloody boomer. But that's the first thing people take out on you. Oh, you got wrinkles. Oh, you're this, you're that. La la la. You're a boomer. What? So what? I'm a boomer. What?
The kids said that to me once the boomer thing happened. He said, whenever I told him to do something or I corrected him in anything, he said, all right, boomer,
okay, boomer.
And I tried to explain to him, I'm not a boomer. And
okay,
and
boomer.
Said, okay,
and I'm
boomer.
so woke. I'm so woke. It's like, you're not woke. You're not. What the hell? You can't even wipe your balls properly, right? After shit. Don't call it, whatever.
Well, for Leo, Mars would be in the 9th house. She wants to go up and out running again, just want to be free, just get that mojo working.
Learn. She wants to learn. She's got time in her hands. She has, well, we can't travel anymore, but she can still get the degrees that she wants.
Daydream. She can daydream.
but she's at this point in her life where, okay, well, choices are being a little bit limited, shall we say? Anyway, let's see what you say, Saul. Let's see what you say. Hold on. Here we go.
What did I say? There was this one woman who didn't drink who was Leo. She said, that's not Leo. And I'm like, come on, you're the party people of the zodiac. I mean, you are the most fun.
The creative, the childishness, the
the playfulness, and the just sometimes getting wasted like this is just an expression and a need to be very playful again. So that you have an excuse to be playful. Yeah, she's probably turning her head quite quickly and flopping her gums in a way. And I really love this. I mean, I love these women. They are so funny. And then they say what? You really couldn't give a damn. I mean, there's been a lot of this.
It's the trine, the quickness of the energy, the fire energy. And when we talk about fire signs, you were talking about accelerating something.
Yeah.
And so here we go. We have this. Probably this is just a bad moment, and this is a click in a bad moment. But probably they did look hot that night. Probably they did look great, and they had a wonderful time that night. But this is just a bad pick.
Oh, it's an amazing shot. It's a perfect pick. It's like, this is the Kodak moment if there ever was one. I mean, it's just everybody looks completely wasted. And the thing is, with this. There's been if we look at that trine from the 9th house to Leo, it's my freedom. I'm free to do whatever I want to do, and don't put no rules on me. We're going to still party. I saw this yesterday. There was this Instagram something, and she.
Where are you going to find this stuff? Because actually, I tell you something. So, I kind of keep myself out of it. I post my stuff, and I keep out of. I don't get involved in the argument. So
well, I'm just very curious. I'm everywhere, and I very often I just follow my intuition because I really follow my intuition, and I just get like little hints and stuff, and then I just do. It's not like I'm on the computer 24/7, but I write a lot, and then I get distracted, and it's like some sort of thing that I just have, but. Back to this Instagram lady who was making excuses that they were still partying despite the COVID thing, in Los Angeles. She said, it's my work, I'm a party fixer, so we're still gonna party, even though the world is in need of us not doing it, because it turns out that a lot of these parties, recently we had flare-ups in Norway, and it was only due to a lot of large-scale parties like weddings and stuff. So alcohol is also one of the things that, makes you a little uncareful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stay your ass at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
So now
Okay.
we're in the inconjunct. Well,
Yeah, we're in the
Mars and
eighth
Aries,
house.
Virgo, 8th house, right? Is that in the right place? And it's just kind of like I wanted to find a picture that was like, oh my God, what are you doing?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, like you are just like you're kind of nuts. And this is the picture I came up with. It's a very famous meme. This picture anyway, and but I love it, and I think it perfectly describes the Mars in conjunct Mars and Aries in conjunct Virgo Sun, because it is like you are like a fucking dummy. Like what are you doing? And because it comes from a young child. But you have done.
Well, I had something similar actually. Yeah. The eye rolling. You have the face palming, and then you have the eye rolling, and it's like I have a very sweet friend. She's Virgo, and she inspired me to this meme. She's like, "Oh my God, do I have to relate to this? Really? Do I have to relate to this?" I'm like, you're like, "Oh my God," like just this impatience with people's stupidity and
impulsiveness and not thinking things through, and that's how Virgo wants to have everything tidied up and
likes a little bit of self-control and some it's a quite a dignified sign. It's rational, so it's really when something is extremely instinctive like Aries, it can be a little like, oh my God, did you just do that?
And Mercury just moved into Leo, so
so there's going to be
yes, that's right. Mercury just moved into Leo, so there's a bit of dignified kind of like, oh God,
yeah.
Do we really have to? Really?
Do you have to relate to this person?
Okay. So,
this one is.
I don't even know how I came across this one. I don't know what I was searching for. I should keep track of my Google searches, but I just wanted to find a picture of a bride who was
carried on the shoulders of
Mars and Aries, and that she felt that she could take over his whatever power or whatever. So what I like about this is first of all, she's on his shoulder, so obviously her vag is on his neck, and he's Mars and Aries, and the whole entire thing about this is my dress and it's going over him, and I'm going to smoke while you do it, and you're going to carry me on your shoulders, and that's what I wanted in this picture. It was a perfect picture. It was a luck picture, because I didn't like intend to find this picture. I did not specifically search out this, but yet I love everything about this because you know what's going to happen,
But I like it because it's like Mars is in the 7th house of Libra, right?
Yep.
So like, what is Libra doing these days? It's that I need to talk.
She is putting her goodies up against someone's neck, and
but like with something going on in the 7th house, like I just recently did a progression class with a student, and for this particular progression chart I picked David Bowie, and Bowie was born with Moon, Pluto, Saturn in the 7th house, right? And then a 12th house Capricorn. And then I thought, like, okay, so somebody with, sometimes you hear that people with a lot of focus on the 7th house are fairly codependent. You always think of somebody being very passive with their codependency, but that's not always the case. If it's filled up with more dominant energies like Mars, for instance, in the 7th house, you might have somebody who is pretty dominant and projecting that part out. So like I would think, David Bowie, he's not what we call a feeble guy. He wasn't, he was very courageous and he was very out there. He put himself out there. But so with the Libra Mars in the 7th house, it's either maybe having to face the challenges of having a very controlling, domineering experience in a relationship, like somebody who's totally trying to run over your own willpower, Or you could have this situation where, like the Libra themselves becomes like, you got to do this, and you take to the right now. Oh God, I got to go pee, put me down, get me up, put me up, You get into these power struggles with your partner in one way or another because the clash of wills. So it's very interesting.
So I'm sorry, I think I might have missed out one of your slides with the Mars and Libra. So we're moving into
but
Mars
it's
and
okay.
Scorpio.
I mean, she just went shopping. She went shopping. I mean, I'm like, why the hell?
Oh yes, it might turn up later. I might have it mixed up a bit, so I might come to it later.
Yeah. No.
This was whenever you talk about Scorpio.
Yeah, you always
you gotta find the right picks, because you can get some really terrible picks and some unpublishable picks. And please, dear God, nobody find my computer, because today I found some stuff that I shouldn't have looked at. But but this is I wanted to find a man who wanted to break free, and a woman who was obviously not going to allow that to happen. So here we have the because Mars rules Scorpio and Aries. So I wanted to find a perfect pick. So here we have, obviously, what was going on here is something a little bit kinky. And of course, she's looking gorgeous and he's looking all tied up. So I wanted to find a picture that said, Mars is in Aries and he thinks Scorpio will let him go on his own. Obviously, she has control over him. And that's what I wanted to have.
The dominatrix. I mean, that's also a Capricorn thing. The Scorpio Capricorn axis relates a lot to, sadism and submission, dominance, these kinds of aspects of power. But this is definitely a power thing, Very often, the studies shows, I mean, me again, in these funny studies I tend to, run into, but a lot of powerful people want to have an experience of being in a submissive sex situation because they finally somebody domineering them again, that they let go of their personal will and being controlled or steered by somebody. So that would be a Scorpio. Oh, here it is.
Sorry,
Libra had to vent.
Sorry, it's out of sequence. Just for anybody who's kind of watching this, I put this PowerPoint together very quickly, so I was trying to move things around, and I made a little mistake. Sorry, guys. But here we go. This is Libra.
You're a Pluto in Virgo, right?
So what's that?
You have Pluto in Virgo?
I have Pluto in Virgo, yes.
Yeah. So you're Virgolizing now. It's okay that they're not. We can do that. We can go back and forth. Now this is my binge shopping. It might be a very good way to get out frustration. You see, when Mars is in the 7th house, there's some frustration with partner or with people, with partnerships, with cooperation in general. Now there has to be some sort of venting at one point, and Libra is fairly peaceful and quiet. Wants to have also diplomacy, but when that's not possible, you have to find other ways to vent that energy, and binge shopping, or binge drinking or eating or whatever, just addictions in general is often a good way to express.
I hate shopping.
Well, I do too. But I'm always surprised that there are people who love it and they actually find, because it's so far away from me, but then there's the binge shopping hangover. And this is what this woman is showing us, that it's not a good thing to do. It's not a healthy thing to do, especially.
Who shops in those shoes?
But good question. You have so many questions. I don't think it's real. It's not probably a real photo.
Oh, no. It's obviously posed. But just like, who would shop in those shoes and who would carry those bags? What's all that fluffy stuff on the side? All this tissue paper, stuff like that. I mean, when I shop, I have a bag and I put everything, compress everything. So there's nothing that I can't carry on my own. These bags are uncomfortable, right? This is too much to carry around, but it looks pretty. So she is going out and she's carrying
Do you
these
have any Libra
bags.
friends?
Say it again.
Do you have Libra friends? Do you have any friends who are
Yeah,
Libras?
I have a few Libra friends.
Do you get beautiful gifts from them?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I gotta say, if someone's gonna give me a gift, I'd rather they sing to me or whatever. You know, I don't want a thing
No.
with
But you
the
know,
gift.
I have a Libra friend. She is just an amazing gifter, and the wrapping is just as
Yeah, I gotta say,
impressive.
I gotta
It's
say,
just
yeah, I
as
agree with
impressive
that.
as
They
the
wrap it up so beautifully,
so
and
beautifully.
if only they realized that I would much rather have their conversation or to sing a song or whatever. If only they realize that that is what I really appreciate,
It's
sticking their
someone
neck out.
grateful,
You know,
like.
that is what I love, and
Yeah. But
and
it's still a good thing, and I like it. It's aesthetics and it's proportions and it's harmonies. It's always Venusian. You know, Libra is a mental aspect of Venus. You know, that's when you come into the mind over matter. The journey towards self-reflection has really begun. It starts for real in Virgo, but it really takes form through a lot of interesting experiences in relationship that you are being you're waking up to an awareness of the intrinsic dynamics between you and others. And I think, you know, that the capacity to express harmony like Libras can, you know, like a very beauty oriented sign, you know, in terms of not just human relationships. They have like a huge expectations of how those should work, right? You know, they should be like so and so, but also in terms of how they, small things like give gifts, like they put so much effort into it. And I think it's beautiful, but of course, it's hard to live. I always felt with my Libra friend that I could never give her back the same thing that she gave to me because I don't have that in me. But it's, I think it's very, yeah. So I would think they would, yeah,
do
go
you
through
remember
with Mars and
in
Aries.
India? So
Mm-hmm.
I gave a gift to Gopal Bhattacharjee.
Mm-hmm.
Remember my gift?
Oh God.
It was the jumper of around the world, and I put a special stitch in for every city that people came from, and that was my
Oh,
gift to him.
really? Yeah. No, that's a beautiful gift.
Yeah, well,
I didn't see
but
it.
but that is like the kind of gift that I'm saying that I appreciate is that, you know, you put something of
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself into it, whereas
Yeah.
I don't appreciate as a Cancer, I don't appreciate shopping being given to me.
No,
You know,
of
if
course not.
you can make me a meal and I'm going to love that meal, and or you can make me something, or you can, I love when people sing to me, but that is the thing, I don't appreciate shopping.
No.
Yeah, do you see what I'm
No,
getting at?
no, that's okay. You don't have to. I'm
Yeah,
not forcing you
no,
to
I'm not saying,
get
you know,
shopping.
I'm just saying that there's different ways
Hmm.
of showing your love to somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on,
But this,
what's
yeah,
next?
let's see what Scorpio says. It's my Scorpio thing coming up.
Okay, here we
Oh,
go. I love this song. This is like the
yeah.
funniest thing ever. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but it's in the sixth house, so you better come prepared, right? And there's a lot of writing going on, so you better take note of everything your enemy says. There's this thing with Scorpio, know thy enemy, you know? There's like this, you know, the world is not full of goodwill because you see through things, you know, that people have intentions that they're not always open about. Scorpio is X-ray, and it's the detective. That's why, like, for me, it's like, because it's still knowledge is power. If you have knowledge over somebody, you have power over them. And on a dark day it would be manipulation, but on a good day it would be actual figuring out things, you know, going so deep you can actually figure out everything. But today with all this internet stuff, you know, like screenshotting is a big one, and people are like, yeah, it's pretty intense. It's like I can use this against this person later, you know, like This whole Epstein thing is like that, you know, like what isn't that the case? Like he invited all these famous people to his little island, and then they had sex with underage citizens and women, and then he blackmailed them afterwards. Wasn't that the thing? Like, isn't that the theory? You don't know?
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just like, you know,
Yeah.
and this is why I personally, I'm so hot on don't read a child's chart on your own.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
like that.
Don't have an unsupervised child in your office. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I've had, you know, I'm shocked that I have to deal with this. People asking me, I'm
Really,
just like,
there's a lot
well,
of like,
you know, guys, don't have a kid in your office. What are you doing?
huh?
And
That's, oh,
yeah, no, it's a thing. Apparently,
it's a thing.
apparently, I never knew it was. But I saw it was a problem, and I tried to deal with it the best I could. But people are apparently thinking they can read children's charts, which means consulting with kids one-on-one, which is not okay.
No, no. I recently had a teenager in my office. She was 13, and her father was with, you know, they were
Keep the
together.
parent with you.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I
Sat
say.
through the whole reading, of course. That's like a given, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Uh-huh.
apparently, some astrologers need to be told this. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's go on this. Let's go on
Okay.
this.
Anyway.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a fifth house. I mean,
Yes,
fifth house is all
I
about memories
love
and
this.
stuff,
I
and
totally love this soul.
yeah, I
Are you
mean,
a game player? Do you play
no,
games?
I did have the world record in Candy Crush at one point, according to my son. I was very, very advanced in Candy Crush. I don't know why
What
that
level are you
happened.
on in Candy Crush?
Huh?
What level are you on in Candy Crush?
I have no idea. I deleted it years ago, but that was the last thing I ever did, and it was such a guilty pleasure. I was like 10
Oh,
minutes.
I love Candy. I gotta
Uh,
say, I love the whole entire concept of Candy Crush, and I think that if us as two teachers can kind of tap into what they're doing with Candy Crush, we're going to have really great courses as astrologers
oh,
because it's
really?
the whole entire thing about um, being competitive and
Yeah.
rewarding ourselves and
I don't know.
connecting and giving each other lives. I think that is a great thing. But
Yeah, and I think, you know, with people having like, I don't think it's a very good thing for Sagittarius, for instance, if we go back to the meme here, like to be stuck inside for a long time. So I'm guessing like just to get out that feverish energy, you need to game a little bit, like, yeah, win.
and this is mine, you know,
No,
because, you know, Sagittarius breaks everything. But when you got
really.
Mars and Aries are impulsive and
Yeah,
bouncing
yeah,
around, and they're always breaking things up. And that this is mine.
it's so cute, that dog. It's like,
Mine, you know,
finally, I have a
the
buddy here.
silly
He's
face,
like more
the
than I do.
overexcitement, the, you know,
Mm,
impulsiveness. All right.
so
Now,
cute.
Aquarius, I always struggle with Aquarius, but
But
I
we're
think,
not in Aquarius yet. We're
here,
in
no, sorry, here's Capricorn. Sorry, Capricorn first.
Yeah, and here's
Getting
the
ahead of
thing.
myself.
I actually sent you two memes for Capricorn. I realized people didn't understand what fix the internet means. Do you understand what it means? Like, oh God, I have to fix the internet. It means you have to fix all the people who have opinions. You know, like,
It means you feel responsible for
yeah,
sorting
you
them
have to
out.
fix things. And I don't know. This is from the fourth house for Capricorn. And there's like this forceful caring for somebody, you know, like I care so much for the world, but now I have to fix their irresponsible behavior. I have to try to talk some sense into them. And she is at that point, she's been trying to talk sense into people, but then when she's not capable of doing it, she's like, I have a migraine. So it's you
And
get
you
a
know what
headache.
strikes me about this too is how young she is.
Oh yeah, but
You know, she is
so
obviously
old.
young and inexperienced. And you know, I like these wokers. You know, they're so
Whoa,
woke, but
they're so
you know, they can't fix things the way they should do or the way they can do. They're just always focused on the
yeah.
on the outside stuff. They're not looking at the actual skills that it takes. These guys that are woke.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of lovely.
Yeah, but
How
yeah,
do you say
you're
that?
right. They're
Like,
lovely. God bless you guys. Keep working.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. But theory and practical reality, two different things for Capricorn in a way.
But here's mine.
Here's yours.
Actual footage of Capricorn running away from Mars and Aries. So Mars in Aries is square. It's the waning square.
Yeah,
I don't.
4,000.
I can't tell you how I even found this picture, but I love the image of these creatures being impossibly on the mountain, and they're trying to climb up.
I would think that it's I mean, Capricorn can deal with a lot of pressure in a way. You know, like it's not the. I think sometimes as well. When I was sitting with this, I was thinking, okay, so um, Mars in the fourth house. I actually wanted to use somebody meditating first because they can now they're just moving inwards and they're using all this ambition to climb upwards towards a higher state of mind in a way. And even though it might show an internal struggle, it's at the same time it might also show some massive um, expression of ambition. Like no matter how high the mountain is, I'm gonna do that. You know, like I'm not quitting. Like
And you
it's
can
like
even use your tongue to do it. This guy is licking that building. He's
climbing with
holding
his
on
tongue.
with his tongue.
Yeah, Capricorns are amazing. They have, I mean, it's just simply amazing what they can do. Let's see. And here comes
Oh,
Aquarius.
here's
Nope, nope.
Aquarius.
Yep, yep, yep. Sometimes I just want to go online. I'm Aquarius, and I just want to go online. And you have this thing on Facebook that says, "What are you thinking now?" And I'm like, then I've been scrolling a little bit, and all I can see is blah 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 blah. And I just want to post blah blah blah. Maybe I should post yip 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 nope 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 blah 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 because sometimes it's just so noisy everything and yeah, it's the third house, huh? Oh, so yeah, here's the misanthrope, the dystopian, the person who just gave up on humanity. It's just I'm out of here. I'm doing knitting instead, and I
Well,
love it.
it's the
It's so
experimental thing that
sad.
I guess you would expect with Aquarius. We're going to break the rules. We're not going to do it. But what I always think about Aquarius too, yes, it's Uranus rule, but also Saturn.
Also
And
Saturn.
so you see this knitting pattern, and you think, oh well, they've done their own thing. But yet, whatever they're doing takes precision and discipline to do. They've
Yeah,
actually completed a project. It's just done in a different way, but they've followed some sort of rules, which is I always think is important when you think about Aquarius.
you know what I like about this picture? The first thing is the thing I like the most is that I want that hat. I really want it. And the thing that I think is so beautiful with this picture is that he looks so sad.
Yes.
And for me, you know, like I have to be honest with how I've had to work with my own um, depression lately. It's not that I'm full on depressed, but I'm just a little, I'm, I'm tired. You know, like there's this world fatigue. It's like this, like, it's like, come on, we can do better than this. You know, we can do much better than this. I expect more actually from humanity. And it's just an ongoing tragedy, a lot of how people destroy and destroy and destroy. We get something beautiful, we destroy it. So there's a misanthrope. Is that how you say it? Misanthrope?
Misanthropians.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
In every
That doesn't
Aquarius,
fit into society. Yes.
yeah, like in every, just somebody who lost hope or lost meaning in being part of humanity. It just makes, it's just too much noise out there, and it's too much in it to win it, and people are backstabbing, and I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't feel good. And I saw recently, I'm not sure, I think she's Capricorn, but she might have, I think she Capricorn or Aquarius, this former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. I'm not sure.
I think she's Capricorn. with
I got to say, I'm an admirer. I like her. I think she does great things. And
now she said she was depressed. She was mildly depressed over the world situation for the time being.
of
And I
course,
am a
we
little
all are.
worried about that. Like that. I think we all can reach a point where we just get enough. It's like enough of this. And the more you see, the more you realize how ignorant a lot of what goes on. How I don't know. Aquarius are firm believers of some higher ideals, and I guess that's not happening on the world today. So I want to knit this hat instead, to be quite honest. Or do memes. We can do memes.
We're gonna meet.
For Pisces. Oh my God, what did you find? The guy who threw up on himself first?
He's not just throwing up on himself. He's lost his trousers. He's tumbled all the
He's talking to the toilet.
trees, and he's been kneeling at the porcelain god's feet.
Oh.
And he's been discovered by Mars and Aries. And well, here he is. I mean,
well, he's been saved.
We've all been in this situation, have we not? When we've felt that our life is out of control, and we need to find a solution. But this guy's obviously not going to find a solution. I would, my dear Pisces friends, I'm always picking on you, but I love the dreaminess and the ideal of Pisces, but often it just comes down to puking in the toilet. What are you going to
do? You had to say it. You didn't want to say it out loud, did you? But okay, but Mars is actually in the second house. So I think, it's that could be binge drinking, of course. You just want everything.
What are we going to spend our money on?
Yeah, sure.
There's nothing. What are we going to spend our money on? What else is there to do?
I want more beer.
More beer, more, just
more everything, more cake.
Let me value the escape from this reality that we have to put up with.
And it's an inconjunct aspect. So, we are coming out of a long period as well with Mars in Pisces, and there's a lot of stuff for Pisces going on. Ceres, the Great Mother, is in Pisces, and she's going retrograde over the same degrees that Mercury went retrograde earlier this winter. So there's a whole deal of letting go, right? You let go, and you have to let go, and throwing up is letting go. Just let it go. Let the toxicity, let it go. Get it out. Yeah, purging.
Okay, let's see what you say about this.
Well, I love it.
You got a lymphedema.
They are very, very often, are they not? It's having boundaries and a defense mechanism can be challenging for Pisces, right? If there's no Capricorn influence or Aries influence, or they have these more potent guardians available in their charts, they can have very loose boundaries, very blurry lines between themselves and other people. But standing up is something of a Mars thing, when you stand up for yourself and you defend yourself. And so definitely, since Mars is in the second house, it's a food fight of some sorts. It's I want to stand up, but I don't want to do it really hurt somebody, so I'm just going to use the banana instead,
My most valued thing is to stand up.
Your most valued.
My biggest value is to stand up and to
but you are
fight.
Cancer Leo moon. Cancer is very there's this huge misunderstanding about the water signs, that they're also emotional in a way. Yeah, but on a very different level. Cancer is personally, subjectively emotional. It's I don't like this I don't like that, I don't like this. Yep. Whereas you come to Pisces, it's whatever, I'm fine with that. No, I understand that. There's this universality with it. So it's yeah, I could be angry, but then again, I understand this person. So is there any point in being angry? I'll forgive him instead, instead of standing up and saying, hey man, that's my boundaries, like Cancer would do, especially you coming in with this powerful Leo moon on top of it. And it's like, no way, Jose, you're not coming through this one, you know, whereas
It's the
somebody with,
power of being in control, I think, with Pisces. Like the power of, like, I think the expression is sly as a fox.
fly as a
You know,
fox,
no, sorry, dumb as a fox. Dumb as a fox, because we all know that
fly
foxes
as a
are very
fox.
smart, but the thing is about you're not being as smart, but you are obviously powerful, and you're doing your thing. So yeah. So
Yeah,
that's like the excuse me, the power of Pisces is being dumb as a fox.
but pretending to be, because they certainly wake up, you know, like I have I have a lot of love and respect for Pisces people. It's actually like one of the signs that I really look up to, and I wish I had a little bit more
Yeah,
of their
me
qualities,
too.
because like empathy and understanding, they just have this beautiful understanding. I'm way more judgmental and nasty and rude. They're like, oh no, I like holding space for all kinds of shit, you know. So
You're right.
um yeah, it's like very forgiving and sweet and extremely artistic and touching on magic, you know, having this like natural, like, oh, I just painted it the other day and then it's just brilliant, you know. So a lot of things comes very easy for Pisces. Like they have natural talents that maybe they don't even have to use any effort into expressing them. And that's why I think Mars in Aries can be quite healthy for the Mars in, and for the Pisces people, because it's in the second house and it's valuing your resources, valuing your talents, standing up for your boundaries, being a little bit more firm, you know, with people. But then again, it's all, you know, it's scary. So we're going to use a banana instead, you know, because, you know, like, I'm angry, but don't get hurt. You know, like, I'm angry, but I'm okay. You know, this kind of thing. Like, don't worry, I'm fine, but I'm really angry at you. You know.
Oh, I
So
love
it's
my
like,
Pisces friends. I really, really do. And
yeah,
yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful
So I
thing.
have a surprise for you.
For
Are you
me.
ready? Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
sure. Did I get my own meme?
Here is Aries meets Venus in
Oh.
Cancer.
Yeah. Oh my
Because
God,
they're
two cuddly,
square,
two
right? Venus
cuddly.
squares
Oh,
the
I'm
sun,
thinking.
right? And then Taurus loving on Venus in Cancer, because
Oh
feeding and
yeah.
sextile and stuff like that.
So yeah, yeah, I
And
might
and
have
and
some
here's my
people.
favorite one.
Oh,
Never fuck with the Cancerian, right? Hold on. So there's more. There's
no.
more.
It's not, yeah, come on, bring it on.
Can you see it? It's the thanks, mom. The bad haircut.
I love the hairdo.
Okay, that's Venus in
Oh.
Cancer, of course. Um,
Oh my God, you are really graphic here, darling.
I'm really.
Graphic.
I don't have Venus. I don't have Scorpio. So
Free. Oh my
but
God.
here's Libra.
But we're having pizza tonight, right? Oh,
I don't have Scorpio. I have to find the right picture
that's a
because
nasty one. Oof. Slightly disillusioned, right?
it's
I
Sagittarius.
have to
Oh,
get
hold on,
working.
darling. I'm not done.
I know. What does it say? I gotta be,
Whatever. I want my steak well done.
yeah.
Because it's the opposition.
Yeah. Well, it's in my seventh house now. That would be the eighth. Aquarius. Oh God, no, I can't think. Leo, Cancer, sixth house. Ah, you expect
Yeah,
homework. Yeah,
homework
right. Yeah, it's my sixth
and
house.
too much fun.
Oh, I'll take care of you, Pisces. Why do we always associate? I mean, like, the one thing that I was a little worried about with memeing is that I don't want to be too stereotypical, but because now we see like there's a tendency to always put food on Taurus. That's like the thing we do. We always put food on
But
Taurus.
look at them; they love to eat. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
like
they do. They do.
stereotypes either, but they do love to eat.
I do love to drink.
And with Pisces and Cancer, we do love to drink, and
Yeah,
Scorpios, they do love to
have sex.
I didn't say it.
Who doesn't?
Oh, so it's been a great afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Thank
always
you.
nice.
I think this is going to be a great video to put up. I'm not sure if I can post this because my browser give me loads of problems, but hopefully I'll send you the copy of this, and I hope everyone enjoys the romp around the zodiac. But I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Yeah, and just one word before people do. Thank you for following and joining us if you saw the whole thing through, and please enjoy this Venus in Cancer transit.
Yes, follow us. So what is your hit the like button and the follow button.
Like us, follow us, please, please. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm everywhere, probably. You know, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, actually. So.
Me too. I'm on all these things, but hit that like and subscribe button. Come to our websites, and thank you very much for your incredible support.